Hey guys, welcome back to another video where we are going to look at the much awaited custom views feature in the modern work center. Oftentimes, business application owners want to have a customized dashboard created for their end users where they can define project specific views for granular monitoring with custom app data surfaced in the dashboard. I had covered the summary field feature to help display app data in the task and process style in another video, which was very well received by the customers. In this video, we are going to see how custom project specific views can be defined. Some of the key features are you can set up custom views with predefined app filters and provide ability for the end users to modify the filters or lock down those filters as per your needs. Security of these views can be controlled by assigning the views to specific groups. You could define views which appear in the page builder widget only. So let's look at this feature in action. Now, before we look at how these views are set up, one thing I wanted to point out is that there has been a new permission added. So if you go to Manage Center, Access Control, Roles, drill down into any of the roles over here, click on Edit, go to Access Rights. You'll see there has been a new access right added over here called Create, Update and Remove Custom Views. Anybody who has been assigned this permission would be able to manage these views, create them, edit them, delete them. We recommend giving this permission to only admins or power users within your organization. Now, for a person who has been given this permission, if he navigates to Work Center, I'm going to expand Inbox over here, Tasks. First, we are looking at task-specific custom views. What you would notice is there has been two new menu options added over here. One is for filtering. Now filtering option is available to every end user because every end user should be able to filter down on the tasks or processes. But then save option is also appears over here because I had that permission which I just talked about. If a user has that permission, he can filter down a view and save it as a specific view over here. Now what I'm going to do is at this point of time, if you see there is no views defined, I'm going to click on filter. Now, as I said, filter is something every end user should be able to use. It's available to them. So if you see over here, there are various ways of filtering. I can filter it based on app name. I can filter it based on process model names, filter it based on dates as well. Let's look at app name first. So I can go over here, I can select the apps which I want to see in my custom task view. I'm going to say I want to see this particular app. I can select multiple of these. Now optionally I can, if an app had multiple process models, I could have selected which process model I want to show the task from, or I can just leave it blank, which means all process models. Similarly, I can further filter it down to process instance name matching a certain pattern. Also in the common filters, by default, as you know, we show overdue, assigned and new. But if you wanted to show completed and cancelled tasks as well, you can select those checkboxes. Same goes for priority. Right now, by default, high and low, normal, all three are selected, but you can create a high priority task view, for example, by just selecting that checkbox. And then you can specify your sort order as well. So that's when you are doing things based on app name. You could similarly search based on process model names as well, or you can filter it down based on dates, and it gives you various patterns. So you can say which date are you interested in. Maybe you're interested in, say, assign date of a task, and you can specify the date range. You can say create a view only for today's tasks, last 7 days, 15 days. You can create for n number of days, or you can do even a between over here, between this date and this date. So you have various options of creating these filters. I'm going to create the first filter with an app name. I'm going to say, leave the rest of them as blank and click apply. So as you can see, now it is showing me all the tasks from my Microsoft Teams application only right now. And it also shows me that a filter has been applied. What I'm going to do is, once I'm happy with this filter, because I have that permission, I'm going to hit save button and I'm going to give it a name. And I can either show it to all groups, meaning every user sees it, or I can lock it down to say, I want this to be shown to people belonging to HR group only or finance group only. So I'll just say, I'm going to assign this to finance approvers. Some of the other options available on this dialog is, I just a few minutes back talked about filters. You can either let the end users be able to, in this custom view, be able to edit the filters. So that filter just starts as an starting point, or you can lock it down as well. You can say, don't provide them ability to change the filter once it has been defined. So in custom view, I can just lock it down if I want it. I'm going to keep the filter enabled so that you can see what I'm talking about. The other option is, in a typical organization, you can create hundreds of these views. You do not want all of them to be shown up in probably the generic work center over here. Some of these views might have been created because they were supposed to be added in a page builder widget for modern work center. So if you have created a view with just the page builder widget in mind, you don't want to show it in the generic work center, you can flip this switch on. In my case, I'm going to actually show it over here in the generic work center as well. So I'm keeping this switch off, and you can obviously enable and disable a view as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. Now what happens is, if you see over here, there has been a new view section which starts showing up, and my view now shows up over here. It has an icon same as my task, so it is a task specific view. And as you can see, it is showing me only the Microsoft Teams specific tasks over here. And because I said the filter is enabled the over here, so user has ability of modifying the filter. If I wanted to lock it down, I could have just locked it down as well. And then user would have stayed with whatever filter the admins have configured for him. Now, once the view has been defined, user has further ability of making the changes. He can save it as another view as well, view number 2. So he can create multiple of these. We can edit the view, change some of the properties, or we can even delete the view as well. So this option, the configuration option, is again only visible to people who have the permission, which we mentioned in the manage center. Now, people having that permission will see all the views because they have permission to manage all the views. So they will see all the views irrespective of whether they belong to that group or not. Though it is still not going to show them the data if they don't have permissions on that application, but they can still manage all the views over here. So that was more from a task specific view. I'm also going to define a process specific view. By the way, before I do that, if I'm on task view, generic task view, I had set up a filter. If I wanted to clear it, I can just hit this cross button, and now it shows me tasks across all applications. It has a visual indicator for that. Now what I'm going to do is, I'll do the same thing for processes. I have a lot of processes over here. I'm going to say, again, filter it based on app name. There are various filters available, the same ones. So I'm going to select Microsoft Teams app over here as well. And I'm going to say, show me even the completed process instances or any suspended process instances. So you can define your custom statuses and the sort by order. I'm going to click apply. So as you can see, now it is showing me all the running and suspended and completed process instances over here. Now I'm going to just go ahead and click save, give it a name. Again, I can lock these views down to certain groups. So I'm going to say this is only available to finance approvers. And I'm going to keep the default switches. I want the filters to be on, or actually this time let's just turn the filters off so that you guys can see it. And I'm going to say it should be visible in the generic work center as well and should be active. And I'm going to go ahead and click save. So now you can see my filter for or a view for tax controversy processes is showing up over here. It is showing me only process models belonging to that particular application, and my filter option is gone because I said don't show the filter options. So it is completely configurable now. the filter options are locked down. User cannot make changes to these views in this case. Now next, I'm going to navigate to the page builder module, and I'm going to click on one of my demo pages over here. Click add a row, add widget. I'm going to add the modern work center. And if you see the list of views over here, it shows all the standard views, but it has also started showing you the custom views as well. So now you can add custom views to your project specific landing pages as well. And you can disable all the standard views if you wanted. So for example, if I said I want to show only the overview and these two views and maybe my apps, and click add, you see only those tabs start showing up at the top. So if I hit save and do a quick preview, you can see data from my various views showing up over here. So as you can see, this is a very powerful feature. It lets you totally customize the user experience as per your project specific needs. Thanks a lot for your time.